back into the 14A Sports Radio Show. Oh, yeah. As always, 14A Sports Radio Show is brought to you by Fan Together. Visit fantogether.net for all your local needs. You want to go out there and watch your favorite team out there in a market if you're not in the hometown.
Hey, also you did a little piece on Green Bay Packer fans.
Sure
right?
did.
How'd that turn out? I know you went to the Green Bay bar in Bayonne. How'd that work out?
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Is he on? I went out there. This is going on so well. So I went out there on Sunday, watched the Green Bay Chicago game. Very, very nice day out there. Incredible matchup to watch there.
That was a great game to watch for Green Bay anyway.
Yeah.
That was unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Aaron Rodgers' comeback.
Yeah, Randall.
Oh, yeah, the final play.
Oh, there you go. You're working. Got Randall Cobb slipping through the seam down there. Now, I tell you what, man, as I say in the article, all these Green Bay fans, they're just so passionate about every single play. I mean, each play, get them. It could be a kneel down or a quarterback, draw.
I feel like it's down at the Rock. It's the same when you have the Giants, in the big game, and you got a bunch of fans together down there. It seems like whenever the whole crowd is together, kind of, it's like every single play is like.
Yeah,
you feel the ebbs and flows of the game.
Yeah, those Super Bowl runs. That's the best part about it. Being in a play wherever you're watching a game, everybody's on the same page, for the same team. It's awesome.
Don't count the Packers out this year if they can.
Yeah,
that defense is so bad.
I'm already counting them out this Sunday. But you can go check out that article on fantogether.net in the blog section. See a couple pictures on there. Brought Oates out there for the game on Sunday.
I should be Packers girl.
Yep, she enjoyed herself out there. Big thanks to Mike Kilmer, a.k.a. Packer Mike, and then Packer Bob, and then Angela Kilmer out there. She set the whole thing up for me, so much appreciation for that.
Well, you're in that situation, too, as a Bucs fan living in Jersey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You like it? You like being a Bucs fan?
Well, that was I wrote another blog, too, about it, and, it's kind of cool being, like, anytime something happens with Tampa Bay, like, for instance, when Shiano got fired. I got 7 different text messages from people
You're
like,
the Bucs guy.
You suck, or you finally got rid of that guy.
You have Mercer.
So in that sense, yes, it's very cool, that, whenever something happens with Tampa Bay, everybody basically chirps to you. Right. Now, it hasn't been great recently. It's absolutely sucked. It's absolutely sucked being a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan.
Yeah, but that's not because you're out of market. It's because it's your team.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what I mean, But so basically I get laughed at, and they're like, haha, why are you a Bucs fan?
Have you ever looked to see if there's any, like, Tampa bars in there?
I haven't. I'm definitely going to use the Fan Together app eventually, so.
Yeah, no. So, I know, like, the Packers travel. I know there's a big Packer bar in the city.
Right.
I know, like, there's Steeler bars, like, in Hoboken, like, Texas, Arizona's one.
Yes, definitely.
Like, I've heard, like, Eagles bars in Hoboken, kind of, like, all different places, but, yeah. The Bucs obviously don't. I don't feel like
it's not a big enough.
I need to find somewhere in the area with a pirate ship at least. We could start from there.
Great Adventure has that great pirate ship ride.
Yeah, you guys go.
I don't think they have the NFL ticket though.
Well, you can get it on your phone and you can watch it there.
Yeah,
as you ride the thing. So who do you want to replace Shiano? Speaking of coaching,
it seems like Lovie Smith is the guy that it's going to be.
But what do you think of it?
And I love that. A lot of guys in Chicago said that they love playing for Lovie Smith. He had a pretty stacked roster there with a lot of superstars. That's exactly what we got here in Tampa. You need somebody that can relate to these guys, maybe somebody who played, somebody that just that isn't trying to be a babysitter,
I don't think that's. I disagree with that. But here's what Lovie Smith, obviously, the Bears for all those years. He had a pretty good run with the Bears. He won 10 games last year, still got axed. But he never put together a good offense as a Bears head coach. There was a defensive team. I would be wary of that. You have a young quarterback. You need that. Your offense is obviously your weak link. You need somebody to come in and give that offense some spark, give that offense some life. And I don't see Lovie Smith doing it. And also, it'll be interesting if he does get that job. Obviously, he's a Tampa 2 guy, right? He's a Dungy guy.
Dungy guy, yeah. That's what I was on.
They devalue corners. They're going to pay a $16 million corner to sit back and play zone.
Yeah, to sit back and play in that that deep middle,
right.
That deep outside.
So I think Lovie is a very good head coach. I think he's going to bring his own system. Actually, I think that'd be very good for Gerald McCoy, playing in Lovie's system. But I'd be worried on the offensive side of the ball. So No, you're in on Lovie?
Well, I mean, obviously, I have no say in this. You know,
I was advocating you would become the GM.
they're gonna hire whoever they may.
Well, I feel like the best coaches, the better coaches can switch their styles to their personnel. At least somewhat. Whereas I mean, hopefully use the Tampa 2, but with Revis, maybe. Rolling the guys over to the other way and having Revis go one-on-one. I think that's, the best coaches can make their personnal work for them the best.
Make a new Tampa too.
But the Tampa won. All right, but how about Lovie offensively, right? Those Bear offenses were brutal.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, look at the quarterbacks on those teams too. Rex Grossman. I mean, they got to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. They put some stock in that, I guess.
Here's something that I'm very worried about. If Lovie does get this job, they're saying that Jeff Tedford, the old Cal coach, would be the offensive coordinator.
Kyle Bowler, baby.
And they had a list of all the quarterbacks that have been under the Tedford tent. Aaron Rodgers won, but then you go under and you got like Akili Smith, you got Kyle Bowler, you got just names that you don't want to see under that tent, So. It'll be interesting to see. I think, Lovie would be the most logical hire. They need somebody to just not, usually when you fire a coach, you try to go the exact opposite.
Yeah, but
of that.
no, see, that's why I disagree. I mean, Raheem Morris, Raheem Morris was their boy. Mm-hmm. That you just said someone who played. That was Raheem Morris. So maybe they went too far with Schiano. And now you're gonna go back to the other way. I don't think it's. You got to be a good coach. Whatever you can make any personality work. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a personality thing. You got to be able to coach. Yeah. If you win games, the players will come around to you, right? They couldn't stand Tom Coughlin. He adjusted. They won the Super Bowl. Michael Strahan loved them. Like you got to win.
I mean,
Bill Parcells. No one like Bill Parcells.
Like Greg Popovich in the Spurs, like he, I think he was like a typical like hard ass kind of guy, or came off like that. But his players love him. I mean, and winning makes everything a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Getting along 100%. A lot much easier when you're doing well and you're playing good, and instead of losing every single week in and week out.
But who would be the GM if they hire Lovie? They wouldn't hire a GM and let someone else.
This is the whole thing right now in Tampa.
They're bringing in Jerry Angelo.
You got so many different people there. They're saying maybe bring in Rich McKay. He worked
Atlanta.
He worked with Lovie in the past. A lot of people want Tony Dungy as the GM. I don't think that he's going to leave his NBC job. I think he's pretty comfortable at where he's at.
Yeah, I think he's kind of.
I'd be weary of even like hiring a Gruden. When you're out of the game, and I know he's watching all the games on NBC, you're still out of the game. I don't like that when you pull guys out from the studio or wherever. I like guys that are in the trenches, in the ranks.
Well, I mean, he's been out for so long.
Absolutely.
It's like usually they'll take a year or two off and then they'll get back in. And then but. I mean, Gruden's been up in the box for probably like 4 or 5 years now. You know? So it's like, there is the reacclimation back to, being a leader of 53 grown men, versus going in a booth with Mike Tirico every week.
Yeah, you're absolutely.
That's a touchdown.
That's a sluggo, Mike.
I like.
Did you know Mike Tirico's not black? He's not. He's Italian. Way. Yeah. Did you know? I swear to God.
You're joking with me.
I swear to God. We'll Google it at the break.
All right.
I heard that one time. He was commenting, and he was like, I get mistaken for being African-American all the time.
Well, that's because you look black.
No kidding.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God.
All right.
Tirico, I guess, would be an Italian
name. He's Italian.
Let's
he's been riding the black train for years.
Also in the article here, you got Detroit as your top destination.
Yeah, Detroit, I think, and so basically, I took a lot of things into consideration, but basically, the main motivation was
what's talent that's there.
What's the easiest place to win? Right, basically year one. Detroit's loaded. Detroit's stacked with talent on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. They're just an undisciplined team. In terms of penalties, in terms of turnovers, they need. Bill O'Brien would have been good there. They need someone to come in and correct Matthew Stafford, who's gotten lazy mechanically, seeming like he didn't want to be coached. They need someone to come in there and fix him.
Are we sure Matthew Stafford's good?
Yes. Well, he can. He had that one huge year, right? But I think he's got to like. I think he's got
to do it consistently.
That undisciplined, attitude permeated through all aspects of that team.
Like the Giants game when he throws the pick six. Basically when the Giants couldn't move the ball.
Brutal. Right.
They're like the penalty. You can't You can't make that
Right,
throw.
let them right in the game. Yeah.
I mean, and him and Eli are almost in the same boat where it's like you gotta.
Actually,
you guys
that ball
gotta,
should have been caught on that pick six. I forgot who dropped it. Maybe Fourier. I don't know. Somebody it went right through their hands, and Will Hill was right there to scoop it in. ESPN, and their Michael Rothstein, he thinks Ken Wisenhunt would be a good fit there.
An offensive guy, right? He had success
With,
Arizona, Pittsburgh. I like that. I never thought about that, but I like that.
Wisenhunt's name is floating around a lot of these.
Coaching vacancies. How about Jay Gruden, Cincinnati?
Yep, he's another name here.
I like
Cincinnati
him.
as a team.
Detroit.
Jay Gruden. I mean, I know, but they were a team they were scoring 40 points one week and then 10 the next. It seems like they were were all over the board. Andy Dalton was throwing 5 touchdowns one game and then four picks the next. And it's just like teams like that. I'm always, I don't know. I just don't know if you could trust it or do it consistently enough. But I mean, they definitely got a lot of weapons in Cincinnati. I mean, and I'm sure he could use a lot of what he does there.
Right.
With Reggie Bush, Giovanni Bernard, Calvin Johnson, AJ Green,
right.
Loaded team.
The tight ends they got. Same difference.
Yeah, I like Jay Gruden there. What did you guys think of the list? Did you, any disagreements? I had the Redskins down pretty far, which some people disagreed with.
I might disagree with you and say that they should be 7th instead of 6th. No first-round draft pick this year. You missed out on that. Yeah.
Oh well, no.
I think Oakland's got some hope, and they're a division where I think you can compete in both. You can compete in both divisions. I think Oakland, you're going to get a chance to work with a young quarterback there, or either Bortles or Manziel, whoever they draft.
You're assuming they draft him,
right?
Oh, all right.
I just think that Washington, you look all over that team. I mean, Pierre Garçon, good receiver. Alfred Morris, good running back. But there's just other pieces that are just very unattractive. That defense has no studs on it whatsoever.
Well, no, they got Arakpo and Kerrigan that you mentioned.
All right. Unless you want to. I was going to say D'Angelo Williams.
Oh, no.
Or not, D'Angelo Hall.
D'Angelo Hall. Yeah, he's over the hill. He's been over the hill. But you said he's their best cornerback, and he's on free agency.
But yeah, you're right. Arakpo and carrying them.
But they didn't play that. They were, it takes more than 2 guys to make a defense. But, they were just so bad. That secondary's awful. They didn't get the pass rush.
But I won't close the book on RG3 yet. I mean, we saw that
I agree.
He could be.
That's why I would give them, over the Raiders.
I would go RG3 over, Manziel or
Right.
Bortles now. I mean, just because RG3 has done it at least once. He's shown that he can be that dynamic playmaker. And maybe last year he was just kind of never right. Maybe never got back to 100%. He could be a big difference maker for the next coach, depending on who they bring in, what kind of style offense they want to go with. But I think we'll see. But I think he needs somebody to work with him. I mean, you threw it out before, the guy from Baylor. I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be funny after all the talk of RG3's dad coming out
Right.
and saying
the
oh, they
inmates
should
are running
get
the
this guy.
asylum, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the thing. I mean, it seems like he kind of needs to be babied,
How Snyder's like a puppet boy for Griffin, and I couldn't.
Puppet boy.
Puppet boy.
I couldn't see him doing that just because it seems like such
give yourself a little for that comment. Yeah, buddy. All right. Other jobs on here: Minnesota and Cleveland.
You know what? Those are both brutal jobs.
Yeah, and you know what, Minnesota, you're going against some just amazing teams. They're Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago. They all didn't really do what we thought they were going to do this season. But
I don't feel like it's that bad. I was surprised that they got rid of Trzynski after the one season.
Well, that's part of the reason I ranked them low. Is, you go there to take the job, and they can you.
Yeah.
Like Joe Barra said, I've been watching. I've had my eye on him for years.
Was
1
Lombardi,
year he's out.
Was Lombardi there?
Yeah, they were there. They all hired him. The same guys that
Trzynski?
fired him hired him. Yeah.
I'd like to see Trzynski as the OC in Tampa. I think that'd be pretty cool.
But I mean, they obviously got weapons on offense. You got Josh Gordon, Jordan Cameron. I mean, it seemed like Hoyer was a legit guy that could have made a difference. But I don't know if they drafted quarterback here. I mean, a lot of people are saying Manziel to the Browns.
See, I don't think Manziel worked there with his float the ball style. I think he'd work very well in Jacksonville or Oakland. Somewhere where
West Coast.
Yeah, where it's not going to be shitty weather. I think Cleveland.
I mean, Manziel's a tough guy. I mean, I think Manziel is more of like a running quarterback that doesn't get hit like an RG3 does.
Mm-hmm. Well, in the NFL, I think you're going to.
He's more like a Russell Wilson kind of guy. That it's like he more for the most part, he'll run to extend the play versus running to get the 20 yards, you know?
Yeah, I think this Cleveland job this year, that'll be so fun to work because you got all these draft picks. You know, you got 2 there in the first, you got your second, you got 2 in the third. You know, I love the draft. I think, you know, it's one of the best things that we have in sports.
Who would have guessed that Cleveland would have won that trade so
outright?
You know,
Trey
like everyone was
Richardson
like,
popped a touchdown in the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations,
Yeah.
Trey Richardson.
Here's the thing: you're not running the show if you go to Cleveland, though. You know, if you're the head coach, you're not picking personnel. Like, there's no way Chudzinski, and obviously he had no pull; he just got fired. He wouldn't have traded, and it was a good trade, obviously, but he wouldn't have traded his running back in the middle of the year. You know what I mean? So you know,
and a lot of
that city, you know, cursed city, they haven't won at all.
Such a shitty city.
God hates Cleveland.
Yeah, really.
Did you see the Bleacher Report? The one guy was sending like a lone man protest outside the facility.
They made him go across.
They made him go across the street.
What was he protesting?
The Browns.
Just like, you know,
just in
You
general.
know, he had the bag on the head. You know, you guys suck.
Had like the sign, like thanks for letting us down again.
Which is pretty interesting this year too. They have a movie coming out soon with about the Cleveland Browns and their whole draft philosophy. Kevin Costner's in it. A lot of big names in the movie.
That's right. I heard about that.
So
yeah.
that's pretty cool. I'm interested to see
Wait,
what's up with that movie.
What, the terribleness of it? Or like,
No,
it's like being in the war room.
It's supposed to be like Moneyball?
Is that?
Yeah.
Almost.
It's
I think
like being
is that
in
the
the
name
war
of it? War Room.
Maybe. Yeah.
Basically, Kevin Costner's the GM of the Cleveland Browns, and you know they take you through.
This
like
is a fictional story, though.
Yeah, definitely.
True story, Michael.
Oh man. And then
Tim Couch, number 1. Yes, we've done it.
now
happy ending for all.
that Oakland job actually hasn't opened up yet, but you know you never know with the Raiders out there, whatever the hell they're doing. I know Al Davis is dead, but you know that ghost of dumbness is probably still lingering around the organization.
Well, they had a lot of salary to dump. I think you mentioned that.
Right, and the last 2 years they didn't. That's what they did. They cleared a lot of salary, but. The owner, the owner looks like he's a big game hunter. You know, he made a run at Gruden. He was going to can his head coach after 1 year. Also, if Gruden accepted, so there's not a lot of job security out there either. And they do have the most cap room. You know, there is a floor now in the NFL. You have to spend a certain amount, but are they going to go out and get it? Procure the talent necessary because that's another roster that's devoid of talent. Yeah. Seven starters on the defensive side are all free agents, so that's a tough job also. How about the Giants? Talking about coaching changes, it seems like they might shake up the coaching staff with Kevin Gilbride. I think Kevin Gilbride could be on his way
it
out.
seemed like that was. Obviously, if you look at I think the defense actually played pretty decently this year. Compared to whereas the defense usually got a lot of the brunt of the blame in the past couple seasons of not being able to stop anybody.
Right.
But obviously Eli's going to be your guy, right? I mean, you gotta switch up something if you think that it's a long-term issue and not something that can be quickly resolved. I mean, then
right. And John Mara came out and said our offense is broken and needs fixing. And another shot, which John Mara's not that kind of guy, but he said, I don't know why it took us 3 years to find out Jerrigan's could play. Which, you know what? I don't know how I didn't know this. The wide receiver coach is Kevin Gilbride's son.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
No shit.
Yeah. So I think the Gilbride family could be,
Well, I didn't know if it was just like
packing
that.
up with the Shanahans.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was just like that cruise spot. I mean that slot guy. Just Eli likes that guy, but then he made those 2 runs for the he made that 1 touchdown run for 50 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, he looked like a real game changer. And next year obviously he could take his. I guess I don't know if you'd put Cruz on the outside with him in the slot or how you'd work it.
See
but
what other guys you bring in, but
or if Nick comes back, I don't know. But I saw something today that he's saying that he still feels like he's an elite or one of the league's top receivers.
Yeah,
but
I think Nick's is gone.
Yeah, I don't see him spending the money on him. But
just with Mike Sullivan, the offensive coordinator at Tampa, former Giants assistant coach, they said he might be in line. Keep that familiarity within the Giants. They like the consistency, but still making a change. So look for him to be maybe taking Kill Drive's position.
Hi-oh. Nice. I like that.